I had the weirdest dream the other night, and we might put this in the podcast because it'll make me laugh, and it'll probably make you laugh.
Okay, so tell me about your dream, Ryan.
All right, so we were in my bedroom. We
were
being
okay.
No, you were not there.
Okay,
sorry. It was me and Jeff Gerstmann and Vinny Caravella and Austin Walker. We were all in my bedroom.
You're weird,
right?
Yeah.
But my bedroom was a studio, and we were gonna like do a live show, but I couldn't get my shit together, and Jeff Gershwin was just making fun of me the whole time. And then I'm like, no, Jeff, it'll be cool, just like give me a hot second. And then he's like, nah, you suck. And then he pieced, and I was like, oh man, this is like the worst day of my whole life. And then I woke up.
I had a dream that I went to. Well, when did you have this dream?
A few days ago.
Literally last night, like not but an hour ago, I was having a dream.
Yeah.
That I went to PAX Prime but my parents were with me.
Yep.
And it wasn't PAX Prime. It was just a boardwalk where you sit on a conveyor belt and it takes you down, like, out to the other end of the boardwalk, and there was lots of people, and there was a kid dressed as Sonic, and I point, and he was running, and then he fell over, and I pointed at him, and I said, "Gotta speed, kid," and that was the only distinct memory I have from that dream.
That's hilarious.
But for some reason, I identified that as PAX Prime.
Sure.
Okay. Because I'm just like, oh, those West Coast, freaking Pacific Northwest, like, that's probably what they do out there, those freaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Ryan.
Hello.
To the Bear vs. Mancast, episode 44, the Merry New Year's cast.
Oh, no.
Today is December 31st, 2015, the last day of 2015.
It is. It happened.
And this is a video game podcast about nothing, and I am Nick.
I'm Ryan.
And we're going to talk about video games and more video games. Because we haven't done this in like 2 weeks.
True. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Ryan still... Well, he's got a couple games to show for it, but... You know what? That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. We're in this together. Ryan, how was your Christmas?
It was lovely.
Okay, great.
It was good. I ate ramen.
Yeah, you made your own ramen, huh?
We did, yeah. It was really good.
You pull your own noodles?
No.
Oh, dude.
No.
Why'd you half-ass it?
Because we're bad. We're a bad family.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but...
Yeah.
You know what I'm really into in terms of ramen? You know that spicy Korean ramen stuff? The Nong Shim Ramuyan?
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, it's not really that spicy if you don't add anything to it. Like, if you don't add more spicy stuff to it, it's pretty alright. I like to eat that, but just put, just a shitload of baby bok choy. Like, fit as much baby bok choy as I can in that until it, like, overflow the pot with baby bok choy. Yeah. And just boil it with your ramen, and then it's like, oh, so good. I might have that for lunch today. It's the best.
Yeah, man.
That's my ramen story.
Sick.
I also had a wonderful Christmas. I didn't
ask.
I ate pizza. I know, that's why I phrased it that way. I had pizza on Christmas Day as always. And I got lots of nice gifts. I exchanged them with my friends and family.
Okay.
And then we had our annual Steam gift exchange.
Yep, that's true.
Of which I still owe Yuki something, but... So Yuki got me Steam gifts, and then he got me a regular gift, and I was like, crap. Now I need to get you more gifts. And he tried to, like... He tried to tell me that, like, he doesn't want anything else. Like, he's like, I'm good. I was just, like, I don't do this... He was being humble. I don't do this in exchange for gifts in return. But what he said was, I have so many games to play. You don't even like get, like, I can't even get anything. Like, don't. But that just said to me, like, all it did was, like, cut off an avenue for me to get him more gifts. Because now it's like he doesn't want games. He doesn't want more Steam games. Then I'm just fucked. I don't know what to get him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like that was his way of communicating to me, like, don't get me anything. But what he really did was say, like, hey, you know that idea you have for getting me things?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. I just get him like a big old bottle of Midori.
He likes that.
He can like in a bottle for the entire year. He can have like 2 ounces and then fall asleep like 15 times.
Oh man, can I tell you a funny Yuki drank alcohol story?
Yeah, sure.
Without his permission.
Mm-hmm. So, as long as it's not like really bad and would hurt his feeling if people heard it.
It's totally fine. We were at a bar one night a few weeks ago, and he drank one whiskey drink.
Did he drink a vodka drink? Did he drink a lager drink?
Nope.
You pissing the night away? Chumbawamba. Hashtag Chumbawamba. Okay, yeah.
He drank a whiskey drink, and then he immediately fell asleep.
At the bar.
Like, put head on table, and just was, like, out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I was like, oh, Yuki. And everybody we were with was like, is he okay? And I'm like, yeah.
He does that.
Yeah, he's good.
He just does that sometimes.
He's just sleepy. And I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, that's Yuki.
Okay, did you get anything, what was something cool you got for Christmas? Let's talk about, let's do that.
Let's do that?
Yeah. Get any video games?
You got me video games.
Yeah, I did.
You got me video games. You got me Roundabout, which I'm excited to play.
Yeah, you said you wanted that game. Also, I got you Knights of Pen and Paper 2 because you really liked the first one.
I did really like the first one.
You immediately, like, as soon as I sent you it, you were playing it within, like, 20 minutes. So
yeah, I booted that up.
So either you've already determined that it's just, I don't need to determine if this is garbage or not, so I'm going to just throw it on real quick.
No, I turned it on, and then I was going to play more, but then I got sleepy, so I turned it off.
Yeah, I figured that might have been the case.
You sent me those games kind of late.
I don't remember. It's a blur.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a couple of games. I got Dying Light, which, well, we'll talk about Dying Light. I got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Okay.
And I also got Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition for the Xbox One because that game's really fun to play.
Okay. All right.
I heard the local co-op is really, really good.
Yeah, I want to do that sometime, but I don't own that game, so.
No, I have it on disc, so I can just...
Oh, you can bring it to my home?
Yeah, I can just bring it to your home, and then we can sit there while it installs, because it's the current console generation. Okay, so on the theme of Christmas, I didn't know if you wanted to share with everyone maybe a video game-related Christmas memory. Does anything come to mind immediately?
No.
How about I go first and you think about it?
Okay.
I remember... let me guess at what year this was. Because I actually have no sense of the passage of time because I'm a monster.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up the release date of the N64 to try and determine exactly. Oh, geez. I think Wikipedia's going to die.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Last chance. There's only 1 day left in 2015 to help Wikipedia. Oh, only 1 day left in 2015? There's plenty more days in 2016 to help you? Okay. Okay. So... Oh, man, I couldn't have possibly been that young. The Nintendo 64 came out in 1996, September 26, 1996, in North America. It must have been, like, several years after it came out that I actually got one. So I'm going to guess that I was, like, 9, give or take 2 years.
Yeah.
And I had we had gone to church for Christmas Eve, and my godmother had given me her Christmas gift. And my family, we always did Christmas morning after church. Well, so here's how Christmas always played out in my home. Go to church Christmas Eve, come home, we could open one gift, which is something that my sister and I fought very hard to get. It was not always the case. We had to, present a proposal, and we made, graphs about why it'd be good to be able to open one gift. And then, on Christmas morning, we would get one more gift, and we could also open our stockings. Then we go to church, come back, and then open everything else.
Yep.
So, this particular night, for whatever reason, I decided that my godmother's gift was, the one to open up. And I don't know why, but I was sure that this was it. And this was the year that I had asked for a Nintendo 64.
Yep.
Because I had played it at your house enough times that, I definitely... I didn't own an N64 till after I met you. How old are you when you're in 3rd grade?
We're I think we're 9 years old.
In 3rd grade?
I think so.
Okay, so I want to say I was probably closer to 10.
Yeah.
But... So I opened my godmother's gift, and it's a copy of A Bug's Life for the N64.
Dope.
Hold on. Actually, let me look up when A Bug's Life came out. 1998.
You were
so this was
8.
Probably the year of? I don't know. Something like that.
Sure.
And at this point, I didn't actually have an N64, but I was going...
Oh, no.
But instead of... At first, I was like, wait a minute, I can't play... Oh, wait a minute. I think some people know something that I don't. And then I knew, I just, looked around, shifty-eyed, and I was like, did you guys give me an N64? Did you guys do that? And then I'm pretty sure the next morning I woke up and I just went through all the gifts trying to find out which one was an N64.
Nice.
Because I knew they got it, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten that game. But
yep.
I needed to see it. I needed to touch it. I needed to see it. Otherwise, I would have been... It would have just given me anxiety the whole time opening presents. Every present I opened that wasn't the N64. I used to always, examine my gifts and, be like... And I would arrange them, be like, this is the one I want to open up first, because it's probably the dopest. And it, really meant a lot to me.
That's sick.
And I did get an N64 that year. And I still have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to share with the class?
Fuck. I don't know.
Because I got another one.
I don't have any, so...
What?
I'm dead inside.
Why are you never happy, Ryan?
I'm dead inside. Everything about my life is
Will
meaningless.
you want to tell everyone the moment that you realized that you were a husk of a human being who's never happy?
The year was 2008.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Actually, that might sound about right. I feel happy as a kid.
Probably, right?
It's when we turned 18 is when we're like, oh wait, the world is garbage.
Yeah.
We can actually see that now. We're tall enough to see that the world is garbage.
Yep, we're tall enough now.
Yep.
We've made it. And
then you laid on the floor and felt like garbage until now. Okay, one more quick holiday story, because this is really amusing to me. I had asked for, and I was expecting, a Game Boy Color?
Okay, yep.
What game? Either that... I got a Game Boy Advance for Christmas, too, but I think this was the Game Boy Color year. And so... We woke up super early, my sister and I. We went out and we started examining gifts to try and find the one we wanted to open before we went to church. And I was determined to get my Game Boy Color. And so, I knew there was going to be something crafty. Like, they weren't just going to take the Game Boy Color box and just wrap it.
That'd be too easy.
Right. I'd immediately know, like, well, maybe you wouldn't know the size and shape of a box that a console comes in.
You've probably seen a box, though. You probably can, like...
Yeah, but the weight is such an important factor in it, like...
Yeah, no,
and
that's true.
you know about what a Game Boy Color size is, but there's all sorts of cardboard and extra booklets and plugins and, whatever, like, you can't necessarily tell. But what they did was they put it inside of, like, a sweater box and then wrapped that. Joke's on them, because I picked up one of the sweater box looking ones I assumed was clothing at first. And, I'm not, to this day, I'm not ungrateful. Like, I like getting clothing for Christmas because I usually get it in addition to a bunch of other stuff. And I buy all the stuff I want for myself. So when my mom buys me socks for Christmas, I'm like, Mom, thank you for helping me be a responsible person, even though I'm actually a piece of shit.
Yeah, thank you for buying the things that I want so I can buy the things that I want.
Yeah, basically. It's like, I cannot be bothered to go to Kohl's to buy any of this stuff, so I really appreciate it. But even then, I saw the clothing box, and I was like, I am not ungrateful for this clothing box. However, it seems a little bit heavier than your average box of clothing. And I kind of squeezed it a little bit. I noticed that within the outline of the clothing box, there was a heavier cardboard, like, outline that was a little bit more square, and I was like, this is it. I found it. And I was like, and I was just like, so sure of myself. I was just like, I was the man in that moment that I found it. And when I opened it and I found it, I was just, it's like the most satisfied I've ever been on Christmas. I recall this story to this day. And then because the whole point of opening it was I got to play it on the way to church and back. And it was in color, bro.
Dude.
Color. And I had then I already had games for it. I didn't even need to find the game, too. I already had lots of games that just ran on the Game Boy Color.
That's the dope thing about Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it was sick. I just gotta play it, just open it, playing it immediately, and it was like none of the other gifts even matter. And those are like, I actually don't have that many distinct Christmas memories. I'm sure I've had lots of fun, happy times with my family on Christmas, but surprisingly enough, those distinct memories are all video game related. Also, one year I got both Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and Mario Party 4, both for the GameCube.
Nice.
And I received those, and I was like, what a successful Christmas. This is great. I legitimately like Mario Party.
Mario Party, we've played Mario Party.
Yeah, I don't know if I legitimately like Mario Party anymore. I still am willing to throw down on a back-to-back double Mario Party anytime.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it's an idea. I'm not going to say it's a good idea, but I will do it just to prove that it's possible.
Yes, Nick, it is an idea.
It's definitely an idea. And I will, if push comes to shove, I'll do it. But no one else will ever agree to that. A Mario Party, a 50-turn game of Mario Party is just too much for anyone to endure.
Followed by another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe we switch games?
Yeah, but I don't think that'll be enough.
Dude, screw it. I'll play same game, same map. I'll do it.
No, you
I
won't.
don't even care.
No, you
I'll
won't.
do it. I will.
No, you won't. You won't.
I will be happy, but I'll do it. It's like having fun with my friends. If we're together and we're having fun,
that's true.
then I'm good. Except that also if we're together and being miserable, that's good too.
Yeah, it's that whole solidarity thing.
Yeah, brothers in arms. Very relatable to Mario Party games. Hey, do you want to eat a sandwich and roll around the floor? Feel like garbage?
Always.
Okay, cool. So what'd you play this week?
I played a little bit of a few things.
Not acceptable.
Sorry.
Please tell me...
I'll leave.
Okay, so I see you played Undertale.
Yep, I did.
Tell me more about. Are you like starting a new playthrough here, or like what's the play? Like what's going on here?
Okay, so I told you this week that my computer exploded,
Yes.
and I had to like wipe it and reinstall the operating system.
Yes.
So I did that, and everything's working, but I lost my Undertale save, which is like a really big deal.
Wow, like
it's kind of like losing your Chrono Trigger save.
dude, like drown yourself.
So I did.
Okay. You're now you're a ghost. Do you want to lay on the ground and feel like garbage, Mr. Ghost?
Yes. Yes, I do. Oh. So I
Sorry.
Yeah, so I booted that up last night. I played it for like I don't know, like an hour and a half or so.
You played the bad part?
Yeah,
the garbage part of
part.
Undertale?
I played that part. It was still kind of bad, but I played it anyway. I got to the good part now, so it's all set.
What is the good part?
The part where you're right before you fight Papyrus for the first time.
So once you've reached Snowdin, that game is good?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, I played that. I still like that game. I think that game is really good.
Yeah, it's maybe one of your favorite top 10 games of the year this year.
Not even maybe. It's official.
Shit, dude. You're ballsy, bro. Like, the year's not even over. And you said,
hey,
these are my top 10 favorite games of the year.
Okay, but the year's over in, like, 14 hours.
I understand, but like I can't believe that you really played the games you played during the year and you said like, yes, I'm now ready to pass judgment. No other games matter. I played the only ones I could possibly care about. I have so many left to play.
That's fine. The only thing I can foresee happening... The only thing I can see happening is I play Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I say, damn, this is really good. And then next year, I just need to have an old games category.
That's what might happen to me in Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is just straight up not getting played even before...
You are not finishing that game anytime soon.
Middle of January is I'm going to have my list ready. So I have like 2 weeks to actually get everything. I need to finish Splatoon. I'm on the verge of finishing Rise of the Tomb Raider. I really want to go back and play Splatoon and Bloodborne. Just to see what's good. Splatoon I could probably only need an hour for. To be like, oh yeah. And just kind of observe the stuff they added to the game. Because that's like an important part of that game not being shit.
Yep.
I'm not going to play Yokai Watch. Because I don't have it. Soma is just probably not getting played. And I'll regret it for the rest of my life.
I bought Soma.
Like, I just want to play it, but I need to find the right time and be in the right mood to get spoopy. Like, realistically, it's not going to get played. I'm going to regret not ever having it on my list because it seems exactly the kind of game I would like. I need to try and play Titan Souls? I'm not playing Ori and the Blind Forest. That year, that ship has sailed.
Yep.
I probably tried Dying Light a little bit. Assassin's Creed Syndicate realistically isn't even going to get unwrapped before I publish my list. And I would love to play a little City Skylines. Now that I have that game, and see if that game is good.
Yeah.
Although I'm not big enough into city builders that it would actually make it on my list. But
it didn't make my list. Yokai Watch.
Yeah, I noticed that. Even though Bear vs. Man's official best new character of the year is in that game.
It's true.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, it's Boo-hoo.
And he beat every character in Undertale, which is like fucking crazy. But it's Boo-hoo.
It's Boo-hoo, man. That'll probably be another one that ends up on the 2016's old game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, there's definitely some old game that I played the shit out of this year. But I'm positive there was one, but I cannot think of what it is.
I don't fucking know.
You know what I mean? You know that feeling? Like, I'm literally just
I have it too.
I've been thinking so much about, like, this list I have on my phone of all the games that came out this year that I pulled from Wikipedia. And just, I cross-referenced it with my memory. So, like, all I can think about are games that actually came out this year, but I know that there's some game I played, like, extensively. I mean, there's much debate as to whether or not Destiny came out this year or last year. If you look at it as the Taken King, and you say that that's actually its own game, which I don't think I'm willing to do, which might make Destiny my old game of the year, but...
A lot of people are, like, singling out Destiny, the Taken King, and, like, being like, no, this is a really good game of this year.
Maybe, well, depending on how I feel about Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, that might be my old game of the year.
I could see that works for me as an old game of the year.
Right now, I think they changed enough in that game. It's not going to be my top 10, but I think it should be considered a game that came out this year. Also because the version that came out for modern consoles runs at 60 FPS and it's really good. And the way they remix the game basically makes it a new game. Yeah. I'm still on the fence about that. I got 2 weeks to decide. I just gotta look at all the games I own and see if they like Infamous Second Son. That's an old game I like this year. I don't know. So you played Undertale. You got to the good part. Are you intentionally doing it a different playthrough this time? You
can't. So no.
What do you mean you can't?
So you haven't beaten the game yet, so I can't, like, divulge this information to you.
So if you... Well, everyone knows about how you get the two big endings, which is, like... So, like, the one...
Your first playthrough is always quote-unquote normal, end quote, unquote.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm 100%.
Oh, man, I need to go... Okay.
Yeah.
This is... I'm angry, but that's good news. Like... I'm not angry at you.
Okay.
I'll tell that story in a second.
Which is also why losing your Undertale save is a big deal, because you have to play through that game again.
So, like, there's the one ending that you can only achieve if you don't kill any character at any point in that game. Like, no enemy dies ever. Is one of the endings.
Well, that is one of them.
But you cannot achieve that until your second playthrough.
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay.
So
I'm going to tell you a story.
Relieved?
Yes, I'm going to tell you my experience with Undertale. We might take a break first, but I want to tell you my experience with Undertale and how you just saved Undertale.
Oh, good.
You just personally, I was really on the fence of never playing that game again, and you just saved Undertale.
Good. I like me. Okay.
Is there anything else you want to say? You want to say your piece about Undertale and how much? Well, we're going to get into Undertale when we talk about the best games of 2015. But
yeah, so I'm not. We've talked about Undertale at length at this point.
Okay, so you're playing through again, so you can get the full experience. You get your save back.
Yeah, that.
All right, let's take a quick break, and I'll tell you a funny story that I need to figure out how to frame exactly. But. Be right back.
All right.
All right, Ryan, you want to hear a funny story about Undertale and my experience with it?
Yes. Also, yes.
Hold on. I need to...
Nope.
I don't know where I was in here. I'm listening to Undertale's soundtrack.
Bergentrugen?
I haven't gotten there yet. So, I started playing Undertale, and I played it for, like, hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe? I should tell you. 2 hours, according to Steam.
Yep.
Although I feel like I should have gotten further, because the last thing I did was hang out with Papyrus. But that's okay. This game was supposed to only take 5 hours to beat. I'm probably going to take longer than that.
I just got the best news.
Is it actual news?
Yep.
Dock it, bro.
Okay, hold on.
And so I played it for about 2 hours, and I mentioned to this guy I work with that I know he likes Undertale. So I was like, hey man, I started playing Undertale. It's pretty cool. And the first thing he asked me is, did you even kill one thing? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, after I do the dialogue choice with random encounters, like, once, I usually, every time I encounter him after that, I just kill him because I kind of want the experience. So I can increase my love. You still need HP. Yep. Like, I really like, but after I've ignored Ice Hat's Ice Hat and he gets really pissy and leaves, like, that's funny. I like that. But after I've done it once, I don't want to do it again. So I just punch him in the face and get some experience. And this guy's like, oh, well, great, you can never get the best ending. I'm like, why would you ever say that to a person?
Yeah, why would you say that to a person?
He meant well.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to you, he was also mistaken. Because the thought of, I mean, not only, like I said, I knew he meant, he was trying to be jokey or whatever. Like, I wasn't, like, mad at him, but I was mad at the fact that game works that way.
Yeah, but
it doesn't, exactly. But, like, if it actually was that way, that, there is a best ending, which I didn't even think was the case, that was more just, there are different endings.
There are many endings.
So, but the idea that they would lock the best ending away behind, did you even kill a single person when you had no idea that these were the stakes, says to me, like, that's not good. That's not okay. But that's not the case.
Which is why that game is not that way.
Right. But, like, I was so down on it that, like, if that was it, thinking that was the case, that I was like, man, fuck Undertale. Bullshit, man. Fuck. But it's not the case, so I care about Undertale again, because I was really enjoying my time I spent with it, even though I played the bad part. Like, according to you, the bad part incorporates the phrase, when you're fighting Papyrus, just think about blue stop signs. And, like, that doesn't make any sense, that's the bad part of the game, because that's incredible.
That part's funny.
That part's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna play this game. I definitely need to beat it. I need to do myself a favor and beat it, and then that way I can judge it.
Yeah.
Although I do need to finish Rise of the Tomb Raider first. I'm getting really close to the end of that. I like less than an hour left of that. So I really want to wrap that up, because that game's really good. And then play some Undertale. And after I've played Undertale, that's like the number one game that I seriously cannot make my game of the year list without playing. But But there's some other ones I bet I'll like. But Undertale is like the obvious. Is really the only one that I think has a really good chance of penetrating the list I already have.
Yeah. Yeah. Undertale good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure I play that in the coming days. Also, breaking news from Twitter: Notch released his top 10 game of the year list officially. Notch, the creator of Minecraft. Do you want to know what it is?
Yep.
Number 1, Metal Gear Solid V: The Phantom Pain.
Okay.
Number 2 through 9, nothing even comes close.
Are you
Number
serious?
10, Five Nights at Freddy's or something. I don't care anymore. I'm dead serious.
Fuck Notch.
No.
Fuck Notch.
No. Okay, he followed it up. Or maybe this will make you feel better. He followed it up. He said, if I could fold in Papyrus, Undertale would have been on my list, but I can't, so it isn't.
Fuck that.
Nah, that's funny.
No,
that's funny. That funny as hell.
No.
I respect him.
No.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is like... Metal Gear Solid 5 may be objectively the best game that came out this year.
We'll talk about it.
Some people might like other games more, but that might be the case. We will talk about it, Ryan. We will talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys about the game with the long name that I didn't tell you guys about last week because I wanted to give everyone a fair shake to play it because it's free on Steam. Did you play it? Dr. Langeskov the Tiger and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a whirlwind heist.
Dr. Tiger.
Dr. Langeskov, comma, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a whirlwind heist.
Dr. I can't spell that. How do I spell that? Dr.
Langeskov.
Nope, it's not coming up, Nick. It's not a game.
God damn it.
It doesn't come up when I search for it. What if I just search for Tiger? How many games
Look at, like,
go through?
free game. Go to free-to-play games.
Oh, hey, it was number 2.
There you go. What was number 1? What song is this? Oh, Spider Dance?
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 4 is the first game that came out.
Dude, this song dope. Spider Dance?
Yeah.
It's okay, so this game, so you didn't play it, you just put it in your library?
I put it in my library.
Baby steps, right?
Yeah, baby steps.
So I'm going to generally just say what this game is. It's a 15-minute game that is like... Here's the loose premise for the game.
Okay.
And this was kind of a joy to me to discover that this was the case, but it doesn't really ruin the experience at all. You open the game, and then when you arrive, you are behind the scenes at a play or something, and you are informed that someone else is currently playing the game, and you have to wait for your turn. And basically, it presents the game as a stage play where there are people behind the scenes pulling the strings, hitting the switches, triggering elevators, releasing tigers, things like that. And you have to help, but also the entire cast of this game, behind the stage crew, has gone on strike. And so you have to help orchestrate the game for another person. Yep. And it's pretty funny. It's interesting. It just, like, stages the way a game, like, it takes a really wacky perspective on video games. Unfortunately, you're not actually doing that for another character, like another person. That'd be the craziest shit of all time. But it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
At the end, they call it. So this is developed by the other Stanley Parable guy. He started a game studio called Crows. And although I think he has Grant Kirkhope on the retainer, but I don't think he does any music for this game. But they call this a complimentary game. You kind of just be like, hey, this is kind of shit we do. Get ready. Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope.
Definitely worth taking 50 minutes to play. It, like, runs in Unity, so, like, don't try and tell me that, like, people should not be like, oh, I can't run it. No, my computer's not. I don't have enough RAM.
I don't have enough RAM.
But yeah, that game is really, really fun, and it takes 50 minutes to play. And, like, 15 minutes is, like, the equivalent of, it costs as much as a cup of coffee. Like, you got 15 minutes? What are you talking about? Of course you got 15 minutes. I also played... Here, I'll insert this here. I played some more Super Mario Maker. I redid some of my levels with checkpoints. I made a new level that I was pretty happy with. My goal right now is I'm trying to make levels that are normal difficulty.
Like, as rated by Super Mario Maker?
Yeah, it's all, like, based on the clear percentages. So, like, the normal, easy, expert 100 Mario challenge.
Yep.
I really just want to make a level that's a solid, normal level. And apparently to achieve that, all you need to do is, like, 12.5% of people who play that game, play that level, need to succeed. So, like... One out of if someone tries the level and beats it within 10 tries, that level is normal. Which seems like a super attainable goal, but that game is also played by children. And that's entirely what it's based on.
Right.
Is their success rates.
Mm-hmm.
The success rates of children. And what I've realized is that... So Super Mario Maker is a really cool game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at something real quick. Super Mario... And they launched that bookmark site.
Yep.
That you can go online and find, like, search for and tag levels, and then bookmark them and access them later through your Wii U, which is really cool. I mean, that's definitely something that needed to happen. It's hilarious that it didn't until now, but we can forgive Nintendo. We've done it before.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the information about how difficult your levels are. So the thing about Mario Maker is it's obviously awesome. Now, it's kind of... now, maybe because the checkpoint messes it up, apparently my levels are far too hard. Oh, actually, I updated my level flying boat level. Now it's got a 10% clear rate, which makes it normal. Before it had a 2.5%, because it was kind of bullshit before. I just need to make, like, shorter levels. My newest one, Tunnel Party, is at 9.23, but only 50 people have played it. Only 15 people have played it, rather. I kind of want you to play it and tell me if it's too hard.
Okay. I'm really bad
I
at
think
Mario.
it's not, like... That's the thing about the game, is that you don't really have to be good at Mario, but you have to know Mario.
I mean, it's debatable whether I even know Mario that well.
You know it well enough. But there's certain things in that game that, if you've never played a Mario game, there's a flying saucer floating onto my screen right now, Ryan. I'm freaking out.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, the website just does this. I'm on Super Mario Maker bookmark.nintendo.net. So, like, I tried to make a really easy level, and I thought to myself, like, my girlfriend doesn't play video games very often, and she didn't grow up playing Mario games. But I thought to myself, like, if I can make a level that she can beat, period, it's probably something like what I'm looking for.
Sure, that sounds legit.
Maybe it needs to be tweaked a little bit if she took her, like, 100 tries, but if she can beat it, it's probably something in that mid-range. I don't want her to beat her. If she beat it on her first try, then that's far too easy. And so I've been making easier levels, but, like, she didn't know, like, basic stuff that I took for granted. And this is not her fault. I literally just took this information for granted and never thought about it. The fact that they never tell you how to play Mario in Super Mario Maker. If Super Mario Maker is your first Mario game, you're going to be confused as F. I mean, if you read through that whole guide, it might break down, like, all the mechanics and what every single item does. But, like, information like you can pick up turtle shells when you're playing Mario Brothers 3 or later is something that I assumed that everyone knew how to do, and I shouldn't have done that.
See, I didn't know when that happened.
You can't do it in the first one. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is the first time, and then there's some more nuances added about, like, how you pick them up and where you can toss them. Like, you can toss them up only in Super Mario World. Like, that's all stuff that... a lot of the content I've ingested from this game is, like, watching people play it on Twitch, and they play expert mode, 100 Mario Maker Challenge, that are made to be, like, super, super punishingly difficult, and only for people who know every single thing about the level, who know, like, new Super Mario Bros. Wii U version, or whatever they use, that if you spin in midair, you get, like, an extra second of air time. And, like, stuff that, like... Stuff you have to know, otherwise you won't be able to beat it. And I tried to take out all that stuff, but I still left in stuff like picking up turtle shells, or the fact that the blue platforms fall. I mean, I didn't put a blue platform over a pit to, like,
Okay.
trick somebody, but I did have a blue platform, and like she jumped on it, and she had no idea that it was going to fall. She was like pissed, and because she doesn't play Mario games, and it's like everything is so. And I thought about it, and I was like, that is bullshit, isn't it? Like at least the donut platform like turns red, and like maybe you can figure out that it's gonna fall or something is gonna happen. But the blue platform is just horseshit. Like, it just falls as soon as you stand on it. And you would have no way of knowing it's going to do that unless you are well-versed in Mario games.
Yeah, it's mostly garbage.
It's not garbage, but, like, as cool as Super Mario Maker is, it really is just for people who already like Mario. Like, you have to have at least played one Mario game to give a shit about this game. But it's so good, and I've gotten so much enjoyment from it. But I realized that that's a crazy thing. I mean, and I guess Nintendo's been doing that for a little while now. Is like, they make these games that only you're not going to get unless you, like, have played the other game in the series. They try and make most of their games accessible. But, like, when I think about the big Nintendo releases this year, it's like, for me, Super Mario Maker and Splatoon are, like, the big Nintendo official published, developed titles.
Right.
And Splatoon does such a good job of defying the nostalgia factor that Nintendo kind of suffers from. And Super Mario Maker spends so much time embracing it that, like, I don't even know how to feel about things. Like, it's a really interesting dynamic that Nintendo has found themselves in. I mean, Super Mario Maker is obviously dope, but it's, like, kind of
didn't make my top 13.
Yeah, it's kind of inaccessible. Yeah, I noticed that. We have very different top 10s this year.
We have very different opinions on video games.
Wow, who would have thought over the course of this year that all these podcasts we've done, the end result would be we have different opinions on video games. Yeah, it's actually very different. I think we only share. Well, mine isn't finalized, but I think we're only going to have like seriously 3 games that are the same on our top 10. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
That sounds okay.
Well, I think doing this podcast is kind of directly affected. I'm not going to say it's made it worse or better, but it's directly affected the games we played this year. Partially because we don't necessarily, either directly or indirectly, we've been trying to play different games for one another. Because it's like, oh man, like in the back of our minds, like maybe not directly, but in the back of our minds have been like, oh man, Ryan played Undertale last week, but if I play Undertale this week, I can't go on the podcast and just say I played Undertale. That'd be fun. I mean, like, that certainly has happened, but it's kind of flavored how we've been doing things this year. So we wound up playing a lot of different games. And some games overlap and we just didn't like them. But
right.
Also, I feel like the way you feel about Undertale is how I feel about every game, by the way. Like
it's the best game.
No, how you're like, Nick, play Undertale, it's really good, I like it. I'm like, oh, I don't know, man, that's really like, no, just do it. Like, I'm really frustrated that you're not playing Undertale and liking it, because I really like it. That's how I feel about every game and you.
Oh, you mean like, I don't like a lot of games?
Yes, and you're like...
that you like?
Yeah, I'm just like, hey man, give Fallout 4 a chance, it's fun. And you're like, no, I tried shooting a guy and I didn't like it immediately, so I'm just going to snap my disc in half.
Yeah, no, that's what I did.
And that has happened so many times. This is like the first time that you've ever liked a game and told me to like it, and I didn't immediately like it. Although I probably will. I did. Like, I enjoyed a lot of things the first 2 hours of Undertale. Yeah. Blue stop signs, man.
Update on Marcus Person's Game of the Year. Undertale is now Game of the Year.
That's not true.
That's what he says.
Did someone... Oh yeah, there you go.
Somebody photoshopped
Papyrus being Fulton. That's exactly what I was going to say. Did someone Photoshop Papyrus being Fulton?
And now Undertale's the Game of the Year, so...
Well, he said he's going to put it on the list So, but now,
He
did. He said it. He said it's on Twitter. It's real.
That's Twitter is a binding legal contract.
Ryan, please tell me about some Japanese RPGs that you played within the past 2 weeks.
Which one do you want to hear about first?
Oh, dude, I always want to hear about Persona 4 Golden, because I don't actually give a shit about the other one.
Yeah, that's true. I played Persona 4 Golden. Yeah. I didn't get very far, because life got in the way.
Because that game was just so good, you're like, I'm not worthy in its presence, I have to just stop. And you just laid on the floor and felt like garbage instead.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yeah, man, I hate when that happens.
Persona 4 Golden is a good-ass game. You know what made me feel really better about
dude,
how...
is P3P going to be your old game of the year? Yeah!
That's the one.
Officially. It might be my old game of the year, and I didn't even fucking play it. Official it. Yes.
Let's see. P4G looks really good on PlayStation TV.
Nothing looks good on PlayStation TV. You're lying.
No, it looks really good. It looks solid.
It looks solid, or it looks really good? Jesus. So does it look good because even though it's a portable game? Does it look good for a game, or does it look good given if you accept the circumstances that's a portable game being played on a TV? And you go like, given the fact that all that garbage is there, it actually does look good. Or if I just showed it to you, if I was just like, hey, this is a PS3 game, would you be like, hey, this looks alright?
Okay, so it looks like a really good portable game on a screen. That's what it looks like. It looks better than the PS2 version.
Alright, as far as I'm concerned.
But the PS Vita is an HD sized display. I won't say it's HD because it has like a quarter of the pixels.
I want to say it's 720, but it's like it's 16 by 9, but it's 720.
It's not 720. It's like 900 and something by 500 and something or something. I just looked it up. It is 960 by 544.
960 by 544.
It's called quarter HD. It has the same aspect ratio, but it has a quarter of the pixels.
Oh, okay.
Of 1080p.
All right, sure.
But it looks really good on a big TV. It looks way better than P3P did.
Of course it. I mean that game is on the PSP.
Probably half the reason I thought P4G looks as good as I think it does is because I was coming right off of P3P, which looked like fucking trash.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I booted that bad boy up. I'm like, yeah, that looks good.
Time to turn this off. How far did you actually get? Did you at least get through the tutorial?
I got to the part where I actually start playing the game.
Man, that game's really good.
Really
I'm just thinking about that game. I never actually played the golden version because lol Vita.
You don't own
lol Vita.
You should. Oh man.
No, the memory cards, bro. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
But
you could probably get like a fucking. You could probably get a cheap one.
Those memory cards are never cheap. Proprietary memory is not cheap. I could get a PlayStation Vita TV for $20 and download like a $10 to $15 copy of Persona 4 Golden, but have nothing to do with it unless I buy like a $60 memory card.
God, the 16 gigabyte card is $40, and I want to fucking shoot Sony.
It's seriously. Hey Sony, I wanted a Vita so bad, and I didn't buy it because of your garbage memory card policy and how much money it costs. I was totally prepared to, I was like, a portable indie game machine? Let's do it right now. Oh, how much the memory cards cost? No. Never.
Went on eBay to see if, there's, a Chinese knockoff fucking memory card.
Sony would have had all those people killed. Sony shut down an entire website one time because they were selling PSPs internationally And people in Europe bought them before they were out in Europe. And
Yep.
they said that diminished their ability to, like, generate hype and, like, elevate their sales in that region because people were buying them online, so they had the entire website shut down.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, rip licksang.org. It was like an import site that was really good. I used it to use it to buy Naruto games. Because I thought PlayAsia was, like, overrated and overpriced and had shitty customer service. But, like...
It still is.
Sony is just the 800-pound gorilla. Like, they do unnecessary shit like that. And proprietary memory cards, bro. If Nintendo is like, yeah, just put an SD card in that, I don't even care. Then, like, Sony needs to check themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I really wanted a PS Vita. Like, it sounds like the coolest thing ever.
I mean, that's definitely a stretch. It's definitely okay.
Well, it's a portable indie machine that has the best Japanese RPG of all time on it.
Yeah. Well, it has 2 of the best Japanese RPGs.
Are we counting P3P because technically that's on that system that can be played on it?
Yep.
Okay, fair.
Yep.
Frustration. Yeah. But yeah, that game is really good.
Okay,
I didn't play P4G, but I played the original version, and that game is fucking incredible. It gives me so many feelings in my heart. Who you gunning to spend Christmas Eve with?
I'm gonna change it up this time.
You should do it. Who you gonna who? Oh, it turned into an owl all of a sudden. Who Ryan? Who? Who?
I'm gonna keep it a secret until I actually.
Do you actually know? Like, you're just not telling me?
Yeah.
That concerns me. Is it gonna be? Is it? Can I? Okay. I won't play 20 questions, but is it one of?
You can play. You can play 3 questions.
Is it one of the people in your party?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I don't know how many people not in your party, you can actually spend Christmas Eve with. Did you make this decision based on a gameplay choice of who gives you the dopest item?
No.
Are you doing this intentionally to make me jealous and give me anxiety?
No.
Okay, that was my third one. But am I going to be jealous and have anxiety? Okay,
no.
Good. Is it Risei?
Maybe.
Yeah! Alright, cool. I'm totally fine with that.
I like her. She makes me feel things.
As long as you keep your hands off my waifu, we're good.
I don't want
good.
Your waifu.
Leave her alone. I hate you. Okay.
Fucking
good. Leave her alone. I hate you. Do you want to talk about Final Fantasy VII at all, or did you not play that game enough to really?
I didn't play that game enough. I'm not sure if I'll play that game enough. I think that game is bad.
Oh shit! So maybe you are looking forward to the to Final Fantasy VII remake.
I mean, academically, sure.
Academically,
but
professionally, yes.
I think it's the most overrated hype shit I've ever seen.
What, the Final Fantasy VII remake?
No, it's Final Fantasy VII.
I don't know, man. Do you see those guys freaking out when they heard about Shenmue 3?
Yeah, but Shenmue is not.
Did you see that guy freaking out when he heard about Shenmue 3?
No.
Oh, man. I totally did. I'm going to go back to our E3 cast and find that I did.
You probably did.
And then, like, the guy who made shit, like, Shenmue's dad was, like, put this thing on Twitter that was, like, this guy from game trailers and they, like, the GT Live crew, like, as Shenmue characters, and he tweeted it. Why can't I hear this? Okay, yeah, they're just like, yeah, all right. They're talking about Kickstarter. This is fun. Stupid Kickstarter. And then, like, after 1 second, he hears, like, the first 2 notes of the Shenmue music, and he flips the... Here, I'm gonna send you this. This is really good. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII is a piece of dirt, you said.
Final Fantasy VII is trash.
Okay.
I've said it.
That's part of why I've heard that a lot, that it's, like, really not that good. Like, people are nostalgic for it. It's not good, which is why I'm looking forward to the remake a lot. In whatever form it comes out in, I'm really interested in ingesting that. Yeah. And just, like, basically playing it and then sitting back and watching the shitstorm that occurs and laughing.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my god!
That guy's flipping
yeah,
out.
you literally hears two notes of the Shenmue music, and it just completely loses his mind.
Man, that guy's having a great time.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking, I literally hate Cloud. I hate Cloud so much. He's the worst character I've ever seen in a video game.
Have you not played Final Fantasy VIII?
Not enough.
Squall Lionheart, man.
No, Squall's way better. I played that game enough to know that.
Okay. I actually haven't played it, so...
Fucking... Man, Cloud sucks, and I hate him, and he's a piece of trash.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I haven't really dabbled in any of the 3D
well, now I hate Final Fantasy VIII.
I think that might be a Photoshop. I found this picture online a long time ago. I sent it to Ryan just now. It's Renoa saying, "Squall, I'm dying," and Squall just says, "Whatever." I think that might actually be photoshopped, because he just says "whatever" too many times in, like, the English translation, and they just started putting it in everywhere.
I think you're right.
But still hilarious if true. Actually, still hilarious if not true. Also, I'm listening to Asgore right now, track 77 from
Bergentruken?
Bergentruken is 21 seconds long. Do you realize that?
Yeah, I listened to Bergentruken Extended.
Well, Bergentruken, I'm pretty sure just takes you directly into Asgore.
Yes.
So that's fine too. Like, Asgore's really good.
Yeah.
Number 77, 76 and 77 on the Undertale soundtrack. By Toby Radiation Fox. That's his name.
Yep.
Okay, so Final Fantasy VII's garbage and you hate Cloud. Cloud is objectively a shitty protagonist. What if it gets, like, better later? You thought about that?
I mean, that's what I'm hoping, but I don't have...
what would you sooner play in its entirety? Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy XII?
Which would I sooner
play? Which one? Well, if you had to pick one to play in its entirety.
7.
Right, go fuck yourself.
No, like, seriously, I don't want to play Final Fantasy 12.
It's really good. Right, it's really good. There's a license grid. Right, there's a license grid. That's the worst part of the entire game, is the license grid. Right, the game's really good.
Nope.
Why do you hate Final Fantasy 12?
Because it's bad. And it has a combat system that I don't like.
Why? It plays like fucking WoW. There's gambits, Ryan!
I don't want to play a Final Fantasy game that plays like WoW. I'd rather just play WoW.
It doesn't actually play like WoW. It's better than that. But it has gambits.
I don't know what that means.
You actually endure Final Fantasy VII instead of... I hate you.
Yeah, you should.
After you go at length about how Final Fantasy VII is garbage and Cloud is a piece of shit. Like, still better than that Vaughn guy, am I right?
Wait, who?
The main character from Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He's that guy who's, like, shirtless and wears, like, a little vest. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, he was a character in Final Fantasy Tactics A2.
Yep, it's the same universe. That's what makes it so cool.
No, I'd rather just play
Final
that.
Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 12. It all takes place in Iphilus. I think it's a really interesting, diverse world.
That world is cool. Yeah, that world is neat. I like it.
Better than the shitty cyberpunk dystopian future of Final Fantasy 13. Okay, how about this? All the Final Fantasy 13 games, all 3 of them, or Final Fantasy 12.
Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, okay. But you have to play Lightning Returns. It's like a half-assed character action game.
Yeah, that sounds awful. But
oh, you're a fucking hater.
What
about Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 12?
I'll play Final Fantasy 2 because I almost beat
Final
that
Fantasy
game
2 is
once.
garbage, except for
that game's
Minwu.
bad.
Minwu's alright.
Minwu's
But it's like,
pretty tight.
hey, I need more HP. I guess I'll just go get tooled on until I have more HP. It's like, that's not a good game mechanic.
So when that game came out on the GBA, I played it almost to completion. But then I got to the last dungeon and I needed to grind for probably, I don't know, 5 hours.
But you can't just grind for 5 hours in that game. You have to go and...
So you can.
It's like, oh, I need to increase my magic power. I'll just use magic skills. Or like, I need more defense, so I'll just get punched in the face repeatedly.
That's the part that takes forever.
That's not cool. It's not cool, Ryan.
Yeah, so which is why I stopped playing that game. I was satisfied with how far I got in it. I'll just YouTube the ending of that game one day.
Okay, that's fair. I'm sure you'll be severely disappointed watching the ending, because you're just like, why did I even bother YouTubing this? This is dumb.
Yeah.
Since there's no news today, I'm going to tell you about some other games I played. I played some iPad games. Some 2-player iPad games.
Whoa,
at the risk of sounding like...
Wait, 2-player iPad games?
What?
Wait, 2-player iPad games?
So...
Like, you hand the iPad to another
No, you
person?
play at the same time. So, like, at the risk of sounding like a total weird hipster, girlfriend and I went to a coffee shop in Lowell, and we drank. I drank almond dirty chais and kombucha, and we sat there for a while and played iPad games, and it was really fun.
Kombucha's gross.
Kombucha can be. I've had some gross kombucha for sure, but I've also had some really. I've had some really good kombucha as well.
All right.
Including a ginger root kombucha that it's. I can't remember the name of the place. I got it in Maine. It was really, really good. Mostly just because I really like ginger, but
I like ginger.
So
too.
we play a lot of like traditional board games and stuff. Like we'll play checkers and sometimes chess, but checkers is garbage and chess is like a little bit too complex. Especially because we also do this while drinking.
I like chess.
We usually are drinking beer instead of coffee, but I like chess too. But sometimes we just would rather play Connect 4.
Connect 4 is pretty
and
good.
she's also really into Chinese checkers. And I think Chinese checkers is a piece of shit abomination against gaming.
I don't think I've ever played Chinese checkers.
You're fine. Like, don't even bother. So we played. I wanted to get some like newer iPad games that are not just digital versions of board games for 2 people to play at the same time. And I found 2 games in particular that I thought were really fun. I got a couple other on here you haven't played yet, but it's a game called Kindo or Kindo. It's like a really short, like 2-person board game kind of. You get this grid that I'm launching it right now because I can't even remember the size of the grid.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It's 5 by 5, and in opposite corners, each character has their king piece, and every turn you get to place 2 pieces, or you can use your turn to fortify one of your existing pieces in one direction, so that that piece can't be captured. Because you can just you have to put them next to each other. Like, starting from your king, they all have to be connected. and you can capture opponents' pieces just by putting a piece on top of it, as long as you can legally put it there because it's connected to the rest of your pieces. The point of the game is to capture the opponent's king, and the meat of the game comes in capturing pieces in the form of any piece cut off from your king is given to the other character, the other player.
Okay.
So if you can, and then like creating a chain reaction like that, like if you put a piece between any number of pieces and the king, you get all the pieces that are no longer attached to the king. And then you also get extra move your next turn. And then if you... it sounds really complicated, but the strategy is deep. I almost just want to... I'm just going to show you this game sometime. Bring my iPad over, because I think it's really fun.
Okay.
It's like... In practicality, it takes a lot of practice to understand what you're doing, but if it's two people who've never played before, it's kind of fun, because you're just like, I don't even know how to play this game. Like, what the heck am I doing? And whether or not you go first or second really affects the way you play the game, I find. You have to, if you're making the second move, the games are so short, you have to play, like, defensively immediately. You're not, like, going to lose every time, but it really affects the way you play, I find. But you can also get an extra move, if you place a piece, and then your opponent immediately just puts their piece on top of that piece the next turn, then you get another turn the next round. As if to discourage people from doing stuff like that. But each game takes about a minute to play, if you know what you're doing, and it's just kind of frantic and fun, and you kind of just, I don't really know what I'm doing. And you place a bunch of pieces, and then you're like, I lost, okay, and just hit go again. And it is a fun, I think it's like $2 on the App Store. It's like a fun game to play with people. With another person. I also played this game called Fingal, which is a two-player cooperative game. Basically, so you have the iPad in between you and the other person, and there'll be outlines of squares and also squares, and you have to like use your fingers to move the squares to the outlines of the squares that match the colors. And so, like, one person will be white and one person will be yellow. And sometimes the things will be moving, sometimes, like, you have to use multiple fingers at once. So it's kind of like Twister, but for fingers. So, like, you'll both have, like, all of your fingers on the iPad, like, trying to move them, and, like, one person will have to, like, drag his finger to follow the moving piece. And it's just, like, 100 levels of that. And it's like a fun co-op game. It's kind of a cheesy, like, of course the iPad would have a dumb game like this sort of thing, but it's actually really fun.
No, that sounds
it is, because it's just, like, I don't know, the idea of playing a cooperative iPad game is really fun to me. There's not much to say about that game, but I think it's surprisingly fun for, like, a silly thing. You can download it for free and play, like, the first 20 levels. And they actually add, like, a couple of different gameplay mechanics that mix things up a little bit. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I wasn't expecting a lot from it, but I played it and I was like, this is alright. Okay. Speaking of things not being alright. Speaking of things being alright, things were not alright. Well, actually, it was fine. So, like, Steam sort of, like, shit its pants on Christmas.
Yeah, it did.
Apparently, the news I sent to you was, like, that was hours after it happened, but... Because eventually they just had to shut it down. Basically, on Christmas, they later revealed to us that this is part of the resulting from a direct denial of service attack. Which they're like, that stuff happens all the time, and we deal with it. Because we're Steam.
Yeah.
But...
We are Steam, and...
Something... went wrong that prevented them from dealing with it. And so what happened was people would go on to their account and they'd go to they hit their name, go view their account or whatever, their profile, and they would just be given they would be viewing the profile of a random person somewhere else in the world.
Yep, that's true.
And someone, they're like, that doesn't seem quite right. Or like you...
Yeah, that doesn't...
so,
yeah, that's not
people
correct.
were randomly seeing each other's information. And fortunately, everyone was freaking out. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, I've been hacked. I need to get in there. And they're going to unlink PayPal and stuff like that. Like, they were like, PSA, here's how you unlink PayPal safely. Because basically... We were completely unaffected by it because the only way that you'd become affected, it was a caching issue. And the only way that your page would be put into the cache of things for people around the world to randomly view them was if you accessed your information during that time. And I was at my parents' house, finishing wrapping gifts and stuff, and decorating the Christmas tree, getting ready for my sister to come over so we could celebrate Christmas. So I was completely unaffected. But people were freaking out. They needed to unlink PayPal and blah, blah, blah. No, because even if some Korean guy saw your profile page, the information... So let me read. Steam eventually released this 5 days after the fact. They released this post about what had happened, because it really wasn't a big deal. It says... Between 1150 PST and 1320 PST, some store pages request for about 34K users, which contain sensitive personal information, may have been returned and seen by other users.
Okay, yep.
The content of these requests varied by page, but some pages included a Steam's user billing address, the last 4 digits of their Steam Guard phone number, their purchase history, the last 2 digits of their credit card number, and or their email address. So, maybe some guy in Korea saw your email address, but what are the chances that that guy is some sort of evil, a digital cyber demon who wants to do something with your email address? He probably just went to his profile page, he saw your email address and said oh, that's fucking weird, and then he closed Steam and tried to figure out what was going on. Not everyone is an evil Chinese gold farmer hacker bot that is going out and trying to steal information from people. Most likely, you just if anyone saw your information, it was a guy like me and you who was very, very confused and didn't do anything with it.
It was probably mostly dudes who were just man, I really wish I could just look at my own Steam
Yeah, it's
account.
Well, now that things have wrapped up for Christmas, I got a Steam gift card or cold hard cash, and I want to go buy some Steam games. Oh, that's weird. I seem to not be able to. Oh, that's not my picture. That's just weird. I'm going to close this now and then lay on the floor and hope that everything's okay. That's probably what happened.
I feel like garbage.
But people, I don't know, people just lost their shit over nothing, basically. Because the email address is the only thing that they might have seen. The last 2 digits of your credit card number. Yeah. They don't even show you, even if I buy something on Steam right now, it'll say, do you want to use this card ending in X? It doesn't show, there's a reason why they don't show you the whole credit card number.
Right, yeah, totally.
And, Valve is currently working with our web caching partner to identify whose information was served to other users, and we contacted those affected once they've been identified. But it also says no additional action is required by users. Password information, it was just... People were acting like it was like Steam was imploding as the end of the world, and it's fucking nothing. Yeah, it's because of a DDoS attack, and because traffic to the Steam store was increased by 2,000% over the average traffic.
2,000%? Holy shit.
It says, during the Christmas attack, traffic to the Steam store increased 2,000% over the average traffic during the Steam sale. So that's a magnified version of the Steam sale number. As soon as people heard about Steam, they saw Steam was trending on Twitter, They just flipped out and
Yep.
logged in to try and remove their credit card immediately because they thought that some North Korean nationalist was trying to use their credit card to buy anime porn or something.
Well, that's
I saw
true.
that tweet a lot. It's like, oh yeah, someone bought some anime porn game and played it for 100 hours.
Yeah, no, that's
It's
fine.
all right, dude. Yeah,
why don't you
it's
settle
nothing.
down?
That's the only thing that happened the past 2 weeks. Nothing else happened in the world of video games.
In video. Yeah, well, everybody's
Yeah, I mean
going for
yeah,
Christmas.
everybody's on Christmas right now.
Everybody's on that Christmas.
Oh, well, actually, so this is something that personally affects me. They've gone on record saying why the Elite controller doesn't exist. The Xbox One Elite controller. I really want one. And we discussed this in real life. It doesn't count. But basically, they released an official statement, and people are like, "Why does this thing not exist?" And they released an official statement saying that basically, at E3 this year when they announced it, everyone picked it up, and everyone who's on the show floor picked it up, and they're just like, "Damn, son, this is a nice controller." But then general consensus, they kind of trolled for consensus information, general popularity, mumblings in the community, and everyone was saying that I'm not going to buy one because it's too expensive. Which,
okay, yep.
It's very expensive. It costs $150, and that's what I said at the time too. I was like, $150? No effing way, dude. And so they didn't make that many. They just said well, everyone thinks it's too expensive, so we'll make a few for the people who really want them, but we're not going to go crazy because we don't want to lose a bunch of money on this.
So then everybody.
And then suddenly, people got their hands on them, and reviews are coming out on CNET.com and crap like that, saying that maybe it's actually worth the money. And it's versus if you're thinking about getting a custom made SCUF controller or whatever, this costs less, it's less flashy, and it's officially made by Microsoft. And it's better because it has metal components and things like that. Because those SCUF ones are just regular controllers that they just duct tape paddles to. So people are like, well, why would I? This is definitely the right choice, and they get those instead. And now suddenly, they don't exist because everybody wants one. And they
that's what amiibos are. So
except this costs $150.
Yeah, but Amiibos was the same thing. It's they were we made these things, and people kind of like them, so we're going to make a few. And then a year later, you still can't get most of the first run Amiibos for MSRP. So
yeah, that's...
Although that's slowly improving.
Yeah, this is more of a thing of... Well, it is very similar. The big thing about this was that they knew that they were making a good product, and they knew that people wanted it. But then the price was so off-putting that they're just all right, well, we can't really go... We cannot go this deep into it. We have to...
I almost wonder what makes that thing so expensive. Because a regular controller is $60. Full price. They went down to $30 over Black Friday.
Yep.
Or something like that. I wonder what makes the Elite controller worth almost 2.5 times as much as a regular controller. I wonder if they would have been better off selling it for $100.
Definitely, but I don't know. Metal's probably kind of expensive.
Metal's not that much more expensive than manufacturing plastic, from my understanding.
Yeah, there's a finite amount of metal in the world. You have to smelt ore.
We recycle.
And yes, true, but still, it's... I don't between the adjustable triggers, the extra metal design, the magnetic interface for the D-pad, the joysticks, and the paddles. It still runs on AA batteries, which I think is perfectly fine because I can just pop rechargeables into them. I don't have to I don't have to be can't play PS4 anymore because my controller's not charged. Yeah. Which has happened to me before.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Maybe it doesn't need to cost quite that much, but they
I don't know.
said it's going to cost this much, and then everybody wanted them, and now they're in high supply, and that price is never going to change. Yeah, but like I'm willing to pay. Yeah. So my thought behind it is I want to get another Xbox One controller, and I didn't get one over Black Friday, and so now I'm facing paying $60 for it, and I would actually rather invest the $90 to get that than pay $60 to get just a regular old controller, which might be crazy, but
maybe
I'd rather have the quality for a I use my Xbox One the most. I use it all the time. I can use it for PC games. It even comes with like a actually decently long like a braided micro USB cord that you can just plug into your computer, and I sit right in front of my computer when I play computer games, so I could use it for that too. Like, it would actually be worth the investment for me more than most players, especially considering the PS4 is the dominant platform right now. It would actually might be worth it to me to get it. They just don't exist. And I like if I went to Best Buy today and I saw that they had them, I would just buy one and then be like, oh, it's over. I already have it. There's no going back.
Yeah, you would.
Or if I see, like, on Twitter, someone's like, hey, Xbox One Elite controller's back in stock. Because they did say that they're going to slowly be coming back into stock over, like, in the first couple of months this year. But the shortage is, they're going to be still very, very short on them until March, at least.
I mean, that makes sense. Which just sucks for everybody, but
yeah, because I want that's the position I'm in is I want the new controller now. I want another controller now, like as soon as possible. So I either have to wait for a price drop on a regular one, wait for the Elite to become available, or do the unthinkable and spend $60 on plastic and like wireless components.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know what to do for you.
I just have to, like, wait it out, I think.
I mean, yeah, if your choices are buy a $60 controller now...
I'm not doing that. I will not do that.
So, yeah, you have to wait. Or find one somewhere else on the internet.
eBay's got a couple for $200, but that's completely unacceptable. Like, $150 is quite enough to spend on this controller. I do not want to spend a penny more than that. But that's just like my opinion, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna wait it out. See what happens. I got at least 2 weeks because I have all sorts of games to play and for wrapping up this year.
I gotta play some video games soon.
Well, you played all the games you care about that came out in 2015, so I don't know what's left.
So maybe I don't.
Yeah, like what honestly, like what is on your list of games to play?
Xenoblade.
Okay. That's long enough that you'll be fine. That'll do you right.
What else? There are some games from 2015 that I probably should have played and I didn't. And I just can't remember what they are.
I'm going to tell you what they are.
Okay.
Based on this list of games that I played in 2015.
Yep.
So you always need to play more Yokai Watch.
That's one.
You said you own Soma?
I just bought it this morning.
Probably find some time to play that. I heard it's really good. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider is really good, but you don't own that game. I
don't own that game, and I don't think I'm going to get it for a little while.
It improves on the first game in a lot of way, but it definitely is like still that kind of action game.
I never played the first one very much.
The first one was deeply flawed, but like you can get that game for like $5 or whatever and just like play it. It's like a fun, dumb, like set piece action game that's like doesn't really do too much for gameplay, and it has like experience system, and you can get like perks, but like it's like a skill tree type thing that like you can better customize the way you play. It's pretty basic, but and also the first game had problems with being kind of murder porny. This second one's a lot better about that. But it's definitely like it's like a functioning like kind of dumb semi-linear third person action game that like you can do much worse.
I need to finish Life is Strange. I haven't.
Probably that sounds like worth your time. Oh man, I have to play that too. Shit. If I beat the first episode, will I know if that game is like garbage or not?
So the thing I've heard is that the first episode is by far the weakest in terms of like the plot.
All right,
and
come
stuff.
on, howlongtobeat.com. Let's see what's up.
I want to say that game is like 12 hours long. Oh man, you know what came out this year that I wish I played more of?
Life is Strange, the entire thing, 14 to 19 hours. Shoot,
That's
dog.
right.
Each episode takes like 2.5 hours.
I wish I played more affordable space adventures.
Oh yeah, well, I'll play that with you. I never played that.
To play that with me.
You should play more.
We were gonna play it during our 24-hour live stream, but we never got.
Yeah, because I also realized that it's a 2-player game, and that means the other person's gonna fall asleep, or the other people are gonna fall asleep. You need to play more Off-World Trading Company.
I do.
You also need to play Metal Gear Solid V: The Phantom Pain. Because now that you like are immune to its bullshit, maybe you can go in and enjoy it as a game instead of worrying about what happens next. Because that game actually, the pacing of that game was the worst. So the fact that you don't care about the story, you can just go and play it as a really, really fun and functional third-person stealth game might improve your enjoyment of that story.
What if I
or of that game?
What if I fucking started over in that game? Like what if
I would
started from the beginning?
Say, Ryan, you're making a huge mistake. Don't do that.
Oh, but what if I did though?
There's so much like establishing stuff in that game. It takes so long to get going, all you're gonna have is like that shitty gear again. I wouldn't do it. Well, why would you want to do it? Legitimately, like I'm not being an asshole. Like, why are you considering doing it?
Because a lot of times with those big games, if I don't play it, like if I don't finish it, I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, and then I just don't play it. So I don't know.
Normally, I'm right there with you. Like I get that, but with like this sort of games that came out this year, like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Witcher 3, they're so long that like you kind of just have to. What you should do is, I think you should pick up the game, force yourself to pick up the game from your save file, and play it for at least 60 minutes. And if after 60 minutes, or let's call it 90 minutes, after 90 minutes, if you legitimately have no idea what the heck you're doing, and you're not engaged with it enough, then start over.
Yep.
But like, it's
All
such a
right.
time investment, because you've already sunk like more than 20 hours into that game.
Something like that.
Like that's to
Well,
waste
probably-
another 20
probably close to
hours
30.
playing missions that you're going to be replaying again later, because that game does that thing where you like replay earlier missions on harder difficulties. To play those basic missions again with like shitty equipment and spend an extra 20 hours doing that. If you can avoid doing that, I would say avoid doing that. But if you can't engage with it and you need to start over, then do it, man. That's the big. I think that's the standout game that you need to play more of. You could work on finishing Downwell.
Oh, I don't know if I'll ever be good enough at Downwell to finish Downwell.
I think you might get there.
I want to. Oh man, I want to watch this video of Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, I keep seeing that everywhere, and I just ignore it. Yoshi's Woolly World.
That's a game that I didn't finish.
I barely played that game, and I think it's like actually really good and fun and beautiful and charming. and wonderful, but I did not play it nearly enough. Maybe I'll do that today.
Yeah. Didn't you get that?
I did.
Yeah.
You should give Fallout 4 another chance.
I won't.
Just one, like, okay. I'm just looking at games that you should play now that you are done with 2015. Now, just acknowledging that you don't like that game, just like fire it up someday, and just be like, nope, still don't like it.
I still severely regret buying it on a console.
You'll get 2016 is going to be the year of Fallout 4 because we're going to get mods on consoles.
Yeah, but I think the game didn't run that great for me in the little bit that I
Really?
played it.
In what way?
Like shit.
Like bad frame rate or something?
Yeah, I had some really janky frame rate spots in places where there really shouldn't have been because there was nothing to get hung up on. And
I must be immune to frame rate issues because I
think you are.
Literally, if someone told me I only notice the frame rate drops when they go from like 60 to like 14. I'm really like super immune to. Like, I can tell if something's 30 versus 60, but I'm immune to drops unless it really is fucking up. So my entire time playing that game, if you said, hey, did you experience any drops of frame rates? I'd say, like, maybe a couple? But, like I really didn't think that was a problem at all playing that game. I played on Xbox One. You can play, Rebel Galaxy.
I bought that
today. I know,
today.
I'm looking at games you bought today. I'm looking at Ryan now owns.
Oh, okay.
And you have to tell me that game is, because I heard it's cool.
Yeah, I was listening to Vinny Caravelle talk about it.
It's made by people who make games that I like, because I really like the original Torchlight. It's a totally different game, but still, I heard it's pretty good. You also got Layers of Fear. Oh man, that's that game you're telling me about. Sick.
Yep, I finally bought it. So that we should play that on a stream sometime.
Okay.
And watch me get spooked.
Yeah, no, I'm all for showing you getting spooked to the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about this this Steam sale. They did the thing again.
Yep.
We'll wrap it up here. But they did the thing again where they don't do flash sales or anything. Like, everything is just a good price. So, in your opinion, what have you noticed is, like, a good price right now that, like, you think people should get? Like, it's now finally time for people to pick up these games. Does anything come to mind? Because, like, Life is Strange, the first episode's $2.50.
Life is Strange is a good price. It's, like, half off.
You buy... The first episode is half off. If you buy the whole thing, it's only 33% off.
The whole thing, yeah, is a third off. You can get the whole package for $13.
Although it's also right now it's $10 on Xbox One, like the whole thing. Yeah,
oh,
like
really?
I don't. And also Ori was like $3 less on Xbox One, but that was last week. I'm trying to think. Like,
did you buy that game yet?
$4. I don't have Ori yet. I wanted to get it on Xbox. I didn't know. I thought that the Xbox sales were going to continue to the end of the year because that's like the name of the sale.
No, they've had cycling ones like every.
Yeah, it's been every week. But the name, I realize that now. But the name of the sale was like, I don't know. It was just named in such a way that implied that it was going to be till the end of the year.
I have to buy video games for Joe for Christmas.
Far Cry 4 is $20 on Steam. I really, really like Far Cry 4. Now that game's a year old, maybe that's like a little bit too much, but I really, really like that game.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other games that I would recommend I already own and therefore are not popping up. Undertale is 20% off, so it's $8. I would say that everyone should probably just own Undertale by now, even though it's not a super good sale price. Yeah, man, I don't know. Darkest Dungeon is half off. You like that game? Is that
Darkest
game out?
Dungeon, that game came out officially.
Not. It says early access.
It's
yeah.
Oh, really? I thought that game.
I think it's coming out like within the next 2 months.
Oh, that's probably what it is.
So it showed up like February 5th of this year. It came to early access, and it's gonna be coming out for real really soon, I think. And you like that game, so that's $10 off. That's $10 right now. That's probably it might even cost more when it's actually out. So that might be worth looking into. Yeah, man, I don't know. Ori and the Blind Forest is $12 if you want it on PC. Ryan likes that game. Dark Souls 2 is $19 with all the DLC packed in. There are definitely worse third-person action games than that.
I just bought for Joe for Christmas Ori and the Blind Forest and the Talos Principle because he wanted both of those games.
Joe has an extensive wish list.
Yeah, so I was like, Joe, if you want Steam games for Christmas, HMU, and then he said okay, and then he didn't. And
well,
I'm
he
like,
said okay, so
he
consented.
Yeah, but he didn't do it fast enough, so now I just
Wolfenstein: The New Order is $9, and I've heard that game is really cool. It's a fun, like, linear first-person shooter.
Did we talk about Rebel Galaxy and it being $13?
That seems like a lot for a Steam sale. I know the game just came out, but that one
it's down from 20.
That one might just have to wait for me. Like I'm not emotionally invested enough in that style of game to want to get it right now. I'll probably just wait until it costs a little bit less.
The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is $6.
That's really good. I might actually get that. Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition is $5.
Does Dark Souls on the PC still need all that DS fix nonsense?
As far as I know, so it doesn't. If you want to fix the resolution, you are going to need the DS fix thing, but it's super easy to do. But it does work like with Steam Cloud now. It's not a crappy Games for Windows Live game anymore. But yeah, if you want to fix the resolution, you're going to have to do that. I just played it in a window the first time I played it. Like a 720 or whatever window, and that worked for me. And then again, I don't care about frame rate. Like, I don't care about all that stuff. People might actually be really bothered by that. Saints Row
Noct is $6. Yeah, it's a top-down survival horror game with a really cool looking art style.
Saints Row the Third is $3.75, and that game's awesome. I'm just literally Vanishing Ethan Carter. I might have to get that.
I heard that game is good. I don't really know much about it, but I heard people talking about it.
City Skylines is $10.
That's pretty good.
I picked that up. I can't actually vouch for that game because I haven't played it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
If you like board games that are a video game, Armello is.
Is that the one with the bear wizard?
Yep.
Sounds pretty cool. Axiom Verge is not a very good price. It's $14. I want to play that game. I don't want to pay $14.
Ronin is $6.50. Ronin is pretty cool.
Lisa is $2.50.
Oh, that's a good price.
That's a really good price for Lisa. I'm mad I bought it before it was that price.
Yeah, I think I bought it for $10. But
let's see. There's lots of good stuff out there, dude. Honey Pop, $3.39.
Oh,
For those kind of prices, you'd be a fool not to get it. I'm just saying. It's super fun. So one of my top 10 games of the year, Ryan.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, so Steam sales still go until the 4th of January?
4th?
Which is, that's crazy. But as Ryan asked me yesterday when the next Steam sale was going to be, and I'm like, I think it's not going to be till the spring. So stock up, guys. They do like a little Valentine's Day thing, but...
Yeah, that's just for like co-op games.
Usually,
right?
yeah. Or co-op games and like sometimes some dating sim stuff. Downwell is $2. Buy it or like honestly,
or suffer.
You're retarded. Like that's for less than a cup of coffee. You can get legitimately like the funnest game of the year.
How many people? How many of my friends don't?
You're just gonna buy it for everybody. Everyone doesn't have it. Like you get it down well, and you get it down well. Everybody gets down well.
Joe and Mickey don't.
Joe doesn't have Downwell. He doesn't deserve Downwell.
Yuki doesn't have Downwell either.
Goat Simulator's $250. That's way too much money for that.
That's fine. I have one more bit of news.
Oh yeah.
The best Final Fantasy game is
Final Fantasy V is coming to PC.
That's already on PC.
Yeah, but it's garbage.
It is. Final Fantasy IX is.
Is it actually on? Is it Final Fantasy V actually on PC?
It is. It's
the
shitty,
iOS version,
like, Android port. Yeah.
Because pixels don't exist in 2015. They have to remove all pixels from games.
Yeah, I was gonna get the Final Fantasy VI, but it's the same deal. So
you get Joe Ikaruga. It's $5. I think he wants that game.
Does Joe love?
Joe loves Ikaruga. Although I think he just likes it. He's in love with it. He doesn't actually like that game. He just like has the GameCube disc. And he's like, this is a cool rare game that I have that like looks really cool. But I don't think he actually plays it. Like he's never said like, so I was playing Ikaruga the other day. Like he just like he loves that game, but he doesn't actually like it.
Yeah.
There's Final Fantasy IX is coming to PC, and it's probably is it just gonna be a port, like an up-resed port?
I'm assuming. They didn't really get too much into it. They didn't even give it a US release date, but all the other Final Fantasy PlayStation ports have come out on Steam in the US. So
I'm sure they'll just throw that out there with like the same old translation and everything.
Yeah, that translation is actually pretty good. So,
what year did that game come out in originally?
I want to say 2000.
2000 translations.
It was that was definitely one of. It still is like one of my most favorite games of all time.
You know, you have to get back into it with Bear vs 3x3 and find out if it really is your favorite game.
That's true.
Just saying.
That's true.
BearVsMan.com.
BearVsMan.com. What's the website? I just put up my top 10-ish game of the year.
Which, as I said before, is ballsy. Really just.
Well,
he's done with 2015. 2015 is over, and you're done with every game. Every game that you didn't play is garbage. Which it gives me anxiety to. It's basically what I feel like I'm saying when I release that list.
I don't feel that way.
Because there's just so many games that I'm sure are good that I haven't played. I'm doing them a disservice. I'm doing you and the creators and all of our fans a disservice by not having played them.
Yeah.
Which maybe is just thinking too highly of myself. But there's just a lot. There's just a lot of games that Undertale is a game I absolutely, under no circumstances, can I release my list until I beat an Undertale. I've also heard the last.
I won't let you.
I've also heard the last hour of that game is like that entire game.
In a lot of ways.
It's like nothing else matters. But you can't have just the last hour. Like, it wouldn't make any freaking sense. But
that's true.
Go read that.
Yeah,
read that. Read Ryan's thoughts on things.
Read my list. Fucking internet. Bear vs. Man on Twitter.
At Twitter. At bearvsman.com.
Facebook.com/Bear vs. Mancast. That's where we are.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We totally even tell you the wrong thing this whole time. I forgot about that.
The whole time for like 40 episodes.
Leave us a review on iTunes, please.
Yes,
people can find out about us that way. And if you like this, tell your friend about it. You know, you have a friend who likes video games or idiots or both. Tell them to listen to this. You can find us on iTunes, and are you still doing the SoundCloud thing?
I'm not doing SoundCloud because I have to pay for it to put more than one episode on there. So,
no. Okay, so we're already paying for podcast hosting. So you just use the iTunes thing or Stitcher. It's also on Stitcher.
We're on Stitcher. Yep. Twitch.tv/Bear vs. Man. Sometimes we play video games on it.
We're hopefully doing more of that coming up.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing more of that. 2016 is going to be the year where we do more.
But we're also going to be tweeting all about that, so just follow us on Twitter. and you'll figure out what's going on real quick.
That's true. That's fact.
But,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's this podcast.
I hope everyone had a nice 2015 where we at Bear vs. Man, where we're wrapping right back around to a year with less than we have two months worth of episodes. We're back at where we started. So
that's coming up. We should like do something.
Yeah, we should definitely do something. I completely agree.
We should do something. I think we started in like February.
I think, or like the first week of March or something like that.
Something like that. I think
yeah. Everybody. It's been a real fun 2015. Enjoying video games with you guys, and we're really looking forward to doing it again in 2016. Have a happy, safe, fun, responsible, and potentially drunken New Year's.
Yeah, do that.
I love you all.
Do that. Okay, bye.